The Seattle Mariners are still the most unwatchable team in baseball, and the style of play that they're showing leads me to think that they're going to end this season on another heartbreaker for the entire fan base. And let me show you. It all comes down to situational hitting and just being clutch and stringing hits together. This is the bottom of the second inning. We're going to see this all throughout the game. It is a 2 balls, 1 strike count. This is a hitter's count. You got a runner on first base, a chance to do damage, and Jorge Polanco is going to come up to the plate. And once again, we've seen this all year. He's going to get a good pitch to hit right in the middle. He's going to ground into a double play, the easiest double play to turn, a 4-6-3. And then JP Crawford comes up to bat right after that, flies out, ends the inning, no damage done. And for the first time this season, I am going to talk about some of the pitching. George Kirby, as of late, absolutely struggling. He's been getting drilled in every game. And a big part of it, and I hope that they're coaching him on it, is people know he lives in the strike zone. He throws a ton of fastballs. He's going to challenge you. And teams come out time after time again and are super aggressive. Swinging first pitch almost every at bat. You know they're being aggressive. That's what they've been doing the last 4 games that you've pitched in. And still, we come into a situation like this where the Mariners had a 2-0 lead. Kirby was pitching pretty decent up to this point. You got Tatis coming up to the plate, a very dangerous hitter. 2 runners on base, 1 out. A chance to turn a double play, try to get out of the inning. If you're pitching in this situation, you just want to minimize the damage. You don't want to give him something that he can take the lead on one big swing on. But George Kirby, either he misses a spot or he's doing this on purpose, but he throws him a fastball, basically challenges him right in the middle of the plate, and you get what you ask for. He pegs that one opposite way, home run, and they take the lead. That's bad pitching. We've seen it so much this year from George Kirby that can we try to paint a corner? Can we try to mix it up a little bit? Can we try to keep them honest? Because what's happening is teams, they're going to get a good fastball to hit in their at bat, and they're not really being held to be honest, where they have to think and really read the pitch and wonder, hey, is this going to be in the strike zone or not? Because when guys start coming up to the plate and they know, hey, if I just put 3 good cuts in on this at bat, I have a really good chance of getting a fastball to hit. It's pretty easy to hit against you. You got to be able to locate it better in this. You got to keep them honest. Now it's a 3-2 game. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. Bottom of the 3rd inning. And I want to show everyone something. This is really important. Again, keep in mind the situation here. It's a 1-run game. You're trying to fight for a wild card spot or maybe even have a chance to win the division. Every game is essentially a playoff game. Every run matters to the highest degree right now. Your offense is struggling. Julio Rodriguez, even though lately has been playing better, hasn't had a good season. You've got runners on first and second with nobody out. Julio Rodriguez, even though he's not 100% right now, even at 80%, 70%, the guy's tough to get out to first base. He can still run. He has plus speed. And this right here, what I'm about to show you, this is why old heads and old school players look at baseball today and wonder what we're doing. Because Julio Rodriguez is up to the plate and the third baseman is so far back from the line in the grass that you can hit anything over here in this direction. There's so much space to work with. It doesn't even have to be a good bunt. It doesn't even necessarily have to be a bunt. Just anything in this area over here is going to be a base hit, and at bare minimum going to move the runners over to second and third with 1 out, a chance to hit a sac fly somewhere or hit another ground ball somewhere and just put the ball in play for the next batter and tie this game up. They're not defending against the bunt whatsoever. They don't respect it. It doesn't matter. I mean, look at this. I'm pausing right here. The third baseman's not even on the screen right now. And I know that people are going to say, oh, you got to let Julio hit. You got to give him a chance to do maximum damage. He can slug. I know he's got good power, but the offense just has not proven itself enough to where you can just let guys come up to the plate and keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And when the defense is leaving you an infield that looks like this in a 1-run game, in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and all you have to do is just put the ball in play somewhere on the left side of the infield, and you're gonna at bare minimum move the runners over and likely have a base hit. I think that's crazy. I don't understand that new school baseball stuff. You can call me crazy if you want, but I think they're begging for a bunt here. And again, you don't have to be good at bunting to pull this off. I want to destroy that narrative too. You don't have to be good at it. When an infield looks like this, you can just be slightly below average and probably still get this done. But anyways, they're going to let Julio swing away. We know that. And Darvish is going to start him off with a breaking ball. Huge swing and miss from Julio. I appreciate that he's being aggressive, but he keeps doing this thing all season as well, where he's just falling over to the other side of the plate. He's not balanced. He hasn't been balanced all season. Here comes the next pitch, another breaking ball, basically right in the middle of the plate, unbalanced once again, can't make contact. Now you're in an 0-2 count, asking for trouble. Darvish is going to come in and dot him up. Dot him up, strike three looking. Now we got runners on first and second still with one out. That brings up Cal. He's going to swing off the plate. First pitch, breaking ball, fouls that one off. Next pitch is going to be up in the zone. I wouldn't say this is a good pitch to hit. Takes a good aggressive hack at it, though. Fouls that one off. Now you're down 0-2. Got to fight. And you get the pitch right there in the middle of the plate that you couldn't ask for anything better. If you were to tee it up, that's where it would be teed up. That's the kind of location that you got to do damage on, but we haven't seen the Mariners do it very much this season. That's a routine fly ball to left field. That's an out. Now you got Randy Arozarena coming up to the plate. He's going to swing way off the plate. And then the next pitch, 0-2, dots him up on the corner once again. That's not a strike, but it's close. He gets the call, end of the inning, strand the runners on first and second. Nobody scores. You're still down by one run. Nobody could even move the runners over. And this isn't new. This is not a new thing that just happened in this game. It's been all year. So again, just remember the infield, nobody out, runners on first and second. Julio was up to the plate. That's what the infield looked like. That's all I'm going to say. This play right here, Jorge Polanco is going to try to get a hustle double. He hits one kind of out into the gap. And Tatis is going to make an unbelievable throw on this play. It's on the run. He gets a perfect one hop into the bag. That's absolutely insane. He gets him out at second base. If that throw was anywhere offline, that's a double. I mean, this is full blown on the run like he's on the infield. And it's a perfect one hop into the bag. That was a crazy play. Outfield defense matters so much. I just want to make sure I put that in here because that was insane. So now let's get to the cherry on top, the most frustrating at bat of the game by Julio. Once again, I think he left like 6 runners stranded. Honestly, I lost count. Bases loaded, 7-3 game. Your star's up at the plate, a chance to do damage. Once again, it's a 1-1 count. That you got to have them come through if you want to have a chance to make the playoffs. If you want to have a chance to be a real force this year, you got to have your star player come through in situations like this. And we're going to see the same swing from Julio we've seen all year. That's basically in the middle of the plate. He's fallen over to the other side. He's in another area code at the end of the swing. That's not, there's just no way that his swing is mechanically sound right now. I don't want to get into a full breakdown of it. I did it earlier this year. I thought it was all jacked up, but I'm not a hitting coach. I'm not a swing coach. I don't want to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. But I will say I've never once in my life, years of playing baseball, seen anyone that has a swing where they end on the other side of the plate, fully miss, and it's mechanically sound and nobody thinks it should change. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, the slow motion of it is even worse. His helmet is practically flying off his head. His eyes are off the ball. I mean, it's the definition of swinging out of your shoes. It really is. And you can't miss that many pitches in the middle of the plate in one season and not make changes. It's just hard to watch. So the next pitch, this is the real dagger right here. There's one out. Bases are loaded. It's a 7-3 game. You're trying to keep your team alive. And he gets another cookie right there, middle of the plate, 89 miles an hour. And he grounds it into a perfect routine double play, ends the inning. That's your last chance to do damage in this game. That was your last chance to try to come back. And the Mariners are playing just like a team that's going to end the season 1 or 2 games out of a playoff spot once again. And we're all going to look back at all those terrible mistakes they made during the year, the awful slumps that the offense has had, the lack of changes from the front office, the lack of awareness in the early parts of the season when everyone was raising the red and white flags and saying, hey, the offense is terrible. Adjustments need to be made. We got to make changes, bring some new talent in, find a way, overpay with prospects, put Luke Raley in more often. But no, they didn't make any significant changes all the way up until right at the trade deadline. And I know that that's hard to do. I know that that probably would have taken a lot of prospects if that means making trades. They probably would have grossly overpaid in some spots. But considering you had a 10-game lead in the division, considering you're now going to likely waste the best pitching staff we might ever have in Mariners history at the lowest cost you could possibly have them. We're not going to be able to keep them forever. Next year, they're already going to be way more expensive than they are now. This was your best chance to go all in and do something big this year. This was the best chance to do it, and you wasted it. And I just want to point one more thing out, because I remember when we were like 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 games into the season, and the offense was, even at that time, the worst in baseball. And I just remember so many narratives of like, it's early, it's a small sample size, we can't assume these guys are going to play like this all year. We just got to let this ride out. They're going to figure it out. It's going to change. And you just think back to that now and you wonder, like, God, what if they did make changes? What if they did go all in? What if they did take a chance? What if they did send some guys down? What if they did call some guys up? What if they kept Ty France? And all I ask is that next year, I'll give them 10 games. You get 10 games for me to say it's an early sample size. And after that, all bets are off, especially for Julio. Julio gets 10 games from me next year before I start saying, hey, he might be a bust. It might be time to look into possibly getting a Juan Soto package in return for him. We've just expected so much better from this team. And I know, honestly, if I had to bet money, this team is going to build hope once again. They're going to make us believe. They're going to give themselves a chance to get into the playoffs. It's going to come down to the wire once again. And I don't know if we can take it anymore. I will also be focusing on the Seahawks now. There's going to be some Seahawks breakdowns coming. I have been waiting on the all 22 for the Seahawks footage since Sunday. And I don't know what's going on, but I can't get access to it. I've subscribed and paid for everything under the sun. I do not understand why I don't have access to it. I have access to the all 22 for literally every other team other than the Broncos and Seahawks game. If anyone has any advice on what's going on with that, could you please let me know in the comments, because I can't figure it out. Also, if you're following Seattle sports and just sports in general this season, please consider subscribing. I'll be doing these as much as I can. They're a ton of fun, even when my team is playing like garbage. Thank you, and I'll see you guys in my next video.